Hey guys, welcome to Fun&Gun. Gonna do a little bit of a different video here for you today. We're gonna kind of do a first competition review with my new Pew View Watchtower Apache here. Kind of go over a few things I learned about it shooting it in today's competition. So let's go ahead and get over to the competition footage. We'll come back and go over a few things with this gun. Okay, stage one was pretty interesting. The first target had to be shot from retention, which was pretty interesting. It's the first time I've ever had to do that. It's also a real testament to how flat this gun shoots. As you can see there, that was 2 rounds one-handed and it didn't even hardly move. The rest of this stage was actually pretty simple. You go ahead and shoot the 2 targets on the right side and then go to the left side to finish off. Stage 2 is my favorite stage of the day and actually the one I did the best on as well. This is a pretty cool stage, as you'll see here in just a second. Okay, nothing too complicated here to start off with. Go ahead and get these 2 targets. You're going to run up here. The guy on the left side was a little bit hard to get because you could only really get him in the head. Go ahead and burn that round so I could reload right here, get the window open, and you're going to finish right here with the last 2 targets on one knee. Okay, stage 3 was not really an IDPA style stage, more of a fun stage. It was all steel. Actually did quite well on this stage as well. Would have been a little bit better if I could have hit these first few targets that I had to shoot at them twice. But other than that, this is a really fun stage. Okay, stage 4 is a pretty simple stage. 2 to the body, 1 to the head. This is actually the stage my squad started on today, and not my best stage, but pretty fun still. Okay, you'll see here after I make the reload, I come up here and the gun doesn't go bang. I accidentally re-engage the safety. Gotta get used to shooting the gun with the safety on it again. Because of my hand size, I can't actually ride the safety. Okay, stage 5 is a pretty cool stage, even though I made a few dumb mistakes. Number 1 being I didn't have the brightness up enough on my dot, so any of the targets in the sun, you could barely see the dot on. And I also had my thumb on the slide stop right there, so the gun did not lock open. Made me have to rack the slide there. So now that I'm back in the sun, I can barely see the dot. Cannot at all see it when I get to the still over here, so I ended up just point shooting and getting lucky. And finishing with the clamshell there. And you better try to turn the brightness up before reholstering it. Okay, stage 6 was a pretty challenging stage because you have to shoot every target around a hostage. And some of them are at a little bit longer range, so quite a bit of fun, just something a little bit different. Okay, had something kind of weird happen right here. I accidentally re-engaged the safety again, but this time when I flipped it off, you've seen there the hammer went forward but didn't set the gun off, so ended up having to rack the slide to reset the trigger so I could keep on going. And of course the gun goes ahead and locks open right there, and I needed 1 more round, so I had to do a quick reload to finish the stage off there. Okay, let's go ahead and go over the results from today's competition. We'll get into a little bit about the gun, a few of the issues you see me have there in the competition footage there. So as you've probably seen in the description, this was my best overall finish and my best in-class finish in IDPA to date. So pretty happy about that, seeing as I picked this gun up Thursday, roughly sighted it in, shot it a little bit, come back Friday, verified my sight in, and shot it a little bit more, and then took it and shot this competition with it. And I ended up getting a 2nd in-class and a 3rd overall. And I'd say I've got about 350 to 400 rounds to this gun at this point. So to me, that's pretty impressive. Pretty happy with this gun so far. Really looking forward to seeing how good we can do with this gun over time, getting more used to it here. So let's go ahead and go over a few things here. So first off, I'm going to show you that gun is unloaded. Drop the magazine out of it. And I'm going to talk about a few things that I did to the gun before shooting the competition and a few of the issues that I had with the gun. It's kind of going to be just kind of a brief review. I will have a full review coming on this gun at a later period, probably hopefully within the next week or 2. So let's go ahead and cover a few things I've done here. I went ahead and took advantage of the nice drilled and tapped magazine release button. As you've probably seen any of my reviews on some of the cheaper 1911s or the double stack 1911s, such as the Mac Defense or the Tissos, same lower half of the gun there, made by the same people. But the fact that they're not threaded where you can put the extended button on there from the factory, kind of a little bit of a nitpicky knock thing in my opinion. I prefer to have it threaded. As you can see here, I went ahead and put an extended button on there because that is my preference. Doesn't look the best on the gun. I'm going to get a fresh one. This one I just popped off my bull and put on here, but I'm going to get one that's new to go on this specific gun. But does have the option of putting the button on there, so I did. And I went ahead and since I had some Wilson Combat buffers laying around, I went ahead and put one of those in there as well to just kind of go ahead and just finish off the smoothness of the action there. And I made sure that all the springs and everything seated properly in the front, so that wasn't going to do any damage to it. So that's something. I kind of wish it come with one from the factory. Not a big deal, but definitely smooths out the overall cycling of the gun just for such a cheap little modification there. And as you can see there, I did have a few issues knocking the safety on, and that is because of, like I mentioned in the shooting footage there, my hand size does not allow for me to ride the safety as everyone's going to recommend. I can barely touch the corner of them. That's just because of how wide these safeties are. And I did figure out what happened when the hammer went forward when I flicked the safety. So I'm going to see if I can recreate that right here. So you got the safety just barely on. You pull the trigger. I don't know if you can see that, but the hammer clicked forward a little bit. When I flip the safety off, the hammer's going to fall to the half cock position right here, and it's not actually resting on the firing pin because that is a safety mechanism. So that is something I'm going to have to address, because the fact that this safety is that easy just to barely touch it and it turns it off. It's got a nice positive detent for the up position, but when it's down, there's nothing there. It's just you can barely touch it and turn it back on. So I may contact Watchtower about that and see if there's anything that they think they could do or something I can simply do, because there is a divot in the top of the safety itself right there, but the ball detent is not popping into it, which I did check some of my other 2011s and such, and they also don't do that. But I don't have an issue with them knocking the safety on quite as much, because this does have some large safeties on it, which is a nice feature to have. But that is something I'm going to try to look into. Then, as you can see there was one point that I did not let the slide lock open, and I did that quite a bit when I was practicing shooting this gun as well. And that is because it does have a really nice stop slide release, but I'm used to most 1911s have a little bit of a ramp to them, and this one's just a nice flat shelf, which makes it extremely easy to drop the slide, but it also makes it easy just to have the corner of my thumb sitting on it, because that, like I said, my thumb size, my hand size, it allows it to sit right on top of it, and if you're not paying attention to it, shooting the gun fast, it's not going to lock open. There's a good possibility that I'm going to end up putting the thumb wedge that I have on my Bull Armory onto this gun at some point. Yeah, it won't be as pretty, but I'm obviously not going to get rid of this one if I want to put it back in there, but I would like to have the thumb wedge on here. I'm going to use this as a race gun anyways, as you could see. But yeah, that's something I'm going to try to address, or just practice not put my thumb in the way of locking it open. But overall, it's kind of like I said, a brief review here. This gun, it was smooth when I got it, but after putting a few rounds through it, it has got even more smooth. I'm going to go ahead and say what everybody else said about it. It is smooth as butter. And I just said that because that's what everybody else I've watched did a review on this gun said about it, and I thought it was kind of funny. And as you can see there, this gun is an absolute fingerprint magnet, because with this DLC coating is essentially a semi-mirror finish. It's an absolute beautiful gun in my opinion. I love the bronze with the gray, just looks absolutely awesome. So that's kind of the brief review after the competition. Really happy with the gun so far. There will be a full review coming on this gun at some point, maybe within the next few weeks. I'm going to get a few more rounds through it. Like I said, mess with a few things, learn a few more things about it. We'll go over what the factory trigger weight was in that video and what we got it down to today, because I'm not going to lie, factory trigger weight on this particular gun for the cost of this gun is extremely disappointing in my opinion. So if you want to know what the factory weight was and what we got it down to, you'll have to go ahead and hit the subscribe button and wait on the full video, because that's all I had for you today. Okay, if you made it this far, I just want to say thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. If you're looking for more Fun and Gun right now, you can click one of the 2 recommended videos there. If you're looking for more Fun and Gun later, you can go ahead and click that there subscribe button. I sure would appreciate it. And if you're finding me from Facebook, go ahead and click that open app button at the top to make all that a lot easier, and I'll see you next time.